Hey guys, welcome to devops school. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Kubernetes. Kubernetes is developed by Google and it is an open source platform that automates container operations. It eliminates many of the manual processes involved in deploying and scaling containerized applications. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Kubernetes will be absolutely clear to you.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
So today we will focus on the cluster management commands. These are the commands which we have. Apart from that, also I'm thinking to cover backup and restore also. Restore. Now also I'm trying to see that if I can access other cover. I can cover other topics also. Okay, so now what is certificates? So do you remember how to add users access to Kubernetes? Do you remember using RBAC? Do you remember?
Yes, Rajesh.
So if anyone of you have tried, please give me the steps. So we will help to explain you certificate.
So before that, we have to do authentication for that user, right?
Yeah. So what was the step? Remember?
You have to create a one SSL file or a FSSL. Using that, you have to create a private key.
Yeah, so I'll just put it in a short because you can go to that video and you can see that authentication and authorizations. But here, creating private and public key, correct? No?
Yes.
Then
CSR
generate a
file.
yes.
CSR.
Generate a CSR file, and then S3 approving CSR file, approving CSR. The moment you approve, and now this will be done by user. This will be done by user. And this will be done by administrator, right? So if you remember last time I talked about manual way to approve. That means I got into the server, cluster server, and then did all that stuff. But there is a problem here. The problem here is when you go for the what do you say, Kubernetes as a cloud hosted solution like EKS, AKS and all. Okay, so that time not you won't get this access. All of you get access to the physical server because it's a platform as a service. They will be you will be able to do everything, but you'll not be able to log into the server. So here this I will do at a laptop, I mean workstation. I'll call it workstation, and this also I'll do with a workstation. But this has to be done at a master, right? This has to be done master. Now because we do not have a physical access, you cannot approve your CSR file. Now for that only purpose we have a certificates command. So let's play with it. So here if you see certificate, enter, here it says approve or deny. So here when I say approve, this is the two command, either you approve or deny. So here approve -h, and now you see here some examples has been given. Look at this. Command H, kubectl, certificate, approve -f, and certificate CSR file. So you can do the recursively multiple also, customize file name. So CSR file name. So this also you can do that. So this is the way to add the certificate, approving a certificate at the CA place, CA master place. Okay, you can deny also. Let's say if someone is already added, so you can deny those CSR through that. So this is the same activities which you have to do with that. Did you understand this? Did you understand this?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay. Now clustered info, I think you have used it. Now next one is a top. Now top basically will give you the CPU utilization and RAM utilization of the pod, but in a manual way it's not activated actually. So if I do kubectl top, you see here what you want, so you can just write it. So now if I do, so you want to see the CPU and memory utilization and storage uses of node or pod. So what you want, so let's say you want the node, so in this case you type node. Now you see here node, and this you get the error all the time whenever you run. So here whenever you say pod, see again you get the same error. So basically this means that there is a this means there is a some different application needed. So because Kubernetes is not a monitoring tool, okay, try to understand this. Kubernetes is not a monitoring tool, but you need node, you need some different applications to give you statistics, right? So let let's give you the some sort of high level background over the monitoring world. Kubernetes monitoring. Okay, now in the Kubernetes monitoring, first you decide what you want to monitor. So do you want to monitor container, or do you want to monitor pod, or do you want to monitor uh,
Services.
container pod, node, nodes? You want to monitor services also, correct? Container pod. Do you want to monitor logs? Do you want to monitor um, uh, services logs, performance? Okay. Do you want to monitor security? Okay. What else? Am I missing something? Yeah. So this is a one. Probably I'll come back with later little bit more list as form of blocks. So when you want to monitor container, there is a tool called C Advisor. C Advisor. Okay, this C Advisor means container advisor. So basically this analyze the containers, okay, and their resources and everything. So that you can use it. So here you have a C advisor. This is the official page. Okay, you can check it out. You can install this one in the each node you have to install. Okay, you have to install each node and then you get. So now the question is, how can we run in each node this C advisor? Any idea? How can we run in Kubernetes?
We'll run the container of C advisor.
No, but this is a container only, and this is the image you run get a container. But my question was, how do you run the C advisor container in each node through in a Kubernetes? How do you do that?
Is a pod.
I mean, of course, pod in Kubernetes only pod, but how? Each node I said.
Is it part of CNI plugin?
No. I think you forgot daemon set. Remember daemon set?
Yes, daemon sets. Yeah.
What
Daemon.
this yeah, what this will do?
So
That
we
will be
have to
check the pod is running or not. If it's not running, it will container. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, each pod. So each node it will run one pod. It will make sure that, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to monitor the pod. Okay, so C advisor is a container monitoring tool. Now for pod you have a Hipsters. Okay, Hipsters. This is the tool which is open source. Okay, by the way, they are saying it got retired. So what is a replacement? So Hipster is now retired. See the deprecations. I mean, it's deprecated, not removed. And for that, okay, so there's again some changes when this announcement has happened. I think 2-3 months back it was like that. Okay, so for now it has changed again. So you have to use metric server. Now this is again new topic. But by the way, that you see that it's still not removed from here. Okay, so still you can use it. So yes, Hipster, but Hipster divided into, okay, Hipster divided into multiple uses, which is called this one for general monitoring. Let me write each and everything. So here for basic metric server, you can use Prometheus. Prometheus is again a different stake you have. Okay, and for event transfer, Hipster was easy at that. This one. Okay, so yeah, Happios lab. So this is the now, but we will check Hipster now at this. Now you want to monitor the nodes. So you go for or Prometheus. Why you should go for Prometheus, not Datadog and all? Because Prometheus and Kubernetes both are CNCF project, so it has a right integration. For service monitoring, you can use service mesh. Okay, multiple service mesh are there like Istio, Consul, and many things are there. For Elastic log, you can use Elasticsearch. Okay, for performance, open source performance management tool, I basically suggest you New Relic, but I think New Relic would be better. But people, if you are going for the open source, then JMeter also you can use it. But let's use the New Relic. Everyone uses the New Relic. Now for security, there's so many tools are there. Security like Tor. There's a name I'm forgetting it. Let me check it my list just a second. Hold on. Twist lock, something like that. Security also many security part which we have. So twist lock. Yeah, yeah, twist lock. So yeah, so many tools are there, but security is not like a one tool which will get everything. But security log, security container, twist cock, and notary. And yeah, so these are the tools out of which because just not you have nothing will be asked in the certifications. They will not ask you to install in fact Hipster also. This is out of context, but yeah, if you want to install Hipsters, here there's a command for installing the Hipster pod. Just one command, let me.
So Hipster is for pod monitoring, right, Rajesh?
Yes, pod monitoring, CPU, storage, and
Yeah, Rajesh, I have an interview that the most of ask on the service mesh, how it will work, ingress in the service mesh.
yeah. So service mesh is another tool actually. Okay, I just said service mesh. Service mesh is a concept, okay, concept, and which is provided by multiple tools. For example, so many tools are there. Just a second. You have Istio, Consel, Lengder.
STO,
From it.
STO is like common one.
Uh-huh.
STO is the common one, right, Rajesh?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a data plane and data control. Two things is there. So let me tell you the name which I prefer. So you can use this one if you like. But again, there's so many tools in the market. Check in your project which is you guys are using. Okay. So for the service mesh again, there are two things. Data planes, Envoy is very popular, and control Istio is very popular. Again, you need a discovery services also. So many people use core DNS, you know that, and now people are also opting for the console also. So that's one thing. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to install Hipster. So now they are saying, so they are saying this is, I'm just copying this instruction, how to install, this says so Hipster, and how to store metric server. Okay, so this instruction what you have is this you can do. Now Hipster, I don't know whether this version will support. Let's try this. Hipster in Kubernetes. There's just 2-3 commands will be there for it. I need a YAML file for Hipster. Without that, I'll not be able to use it. So change the documentation also. Just a second. Install. It's not there. Install Hipster. Without their pom.xml, you cannot do that. That's a problem. By the way, anyway, this is old stuff, but you should check this. Yes, I got it. So this is the repository. and as the node port, local volumes, and deploy the port. Okay, so these changes have to be done. Too many steps are there for this. Not this Kubernetes dashboard. Here it is. Okay, forget about this. Let's continue with this one only. Okay. So yeah. So let's do one thing. Let's use this one because I don't know, some error will come with the new version. This is the new version which we have. So might come error. I don't want to get lost in this. So it got installed. Now you see, takes few seconds to get your here. Nice, okay. So yes, this is the way you can do that. Also, you try in offline hours this one. Okay, hipsters. All the code is here. Okay, so now this is the top. Now, what is a cordon, uncordon, drain, tent? So, in fact, right now,
this hipster we have to install on the nodes, right?
this will be, if you want to really note here, get pods hyphen on namespaces. See here, this is a matrix server. Okay, it's in system. Now agent, yeah. So here, this will be reading everything. Now, this is my stuff. This is the last session in Grace we did, right? Here it is. Cube system. Got it?
Yeah, under cube system namespace it is getting installed for. So my question was, shall if I have like two nodes, so I have to install on both the nodes separately?
No, you don't have to install in the nodes. It will be installed in the
Okay,
server.
namespace. All right. Yeah.
Namespace, remember the concept of namespace?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So like this. Okay. Now next question is Cordon, Uncoded, drain, and point tent. So I was writing in fact one article on this, so I can give you a reference, but I could not complete because it's become 9 o'clock. So Cordon, Uncoded, drain, and tent. Now I will add a few more things here, so I'll complete that topic also. Node selector. Okay. Node affinity. Node affinity. Pod affinity. Pod affinity. And one more thing is there. Node selector, node affinity, pod NFT, and toleration. Node toleration. Node toleration. Tolerations. Okay. This is a, okay. Cordon, uncordon, drain, tent. These are the things you can do do with node. Okay, understanding this? Now these are the things you can do in do with pod spec. You understand the pod spec, right? All of you? Pod specification, correct now?
Yeah.
So understand this, when you come for scheduling, this I think 10% weightage is carry on. So this is important topic. Okay, and all is just like a matter of commands. Okay, nothing else. So now if you want to do something with a cordon, you do the cordon, uncordon, drain, tent. Now if you want to specify something with the pod, then this one. Okay, so now the question is, what is cordon? So Cordon will make node as unschedulable. That means you cannot assign any node. I mean, remember the scheduler. Hopefully, remember the architecture. So here in the master, there's a scheduler, right? API server, controller, etcd. So scheduler assign the node, right? Here node, this assignment. So this guy has to decide, right? So if you make the node, this is a one node, node 1 and node 2. So if you node 2, you make it, think about it, very simple. Node 2, make it Cordon. Then scheduler will not assign that to that node. It will go to 2, you make it Cordon. Are you getting my points? So mark node as a unschedulable. Okay. Okay. Hello.
And whatever is running on that node, that will keep on running, or they'll be also moved to another node automatically.
No. That will keep on running. That will keep.
Okay.
New scheduling will not happen. So if you want to change that, you have a uncoded. Now the question is, what is a tent? So here understand that tent also will do the same thing. Tent also will do the same thing. Okay, understand that. Tent also will do the cordon thing only, but there is a one difference. If you have, let's see that this is a cordon, okay, and this is a cordon enabled, and this is a tent enabled. Tent means you are asking, do not see here, update the tents for one or more nodes. So you are asking tent, that means the moment you set the tent, this node as a tent, then pod will not be able to schedule here also, and here also will not be able to schedule. But the question is, what is the difference? So here there's a difference is, if pod has a toleration, see what toleration, where we declare pod.spec. Okay, so if a pod, that pod which you are assigning it to the scheduler, and if it has toleration to the tent, understand that, then this pod will be getting created. But here, if the pod has a toleration for Corden, no, it will not allow. So what is the meaning of it? Corden is a hard way to restrict. Do not schedule any pod in my node. But tent is giving relaxation. Tent is also giving, do not create pod, but until you tolerate for it. Until you tolerate for it. And are you getting my points?
Yep.
Okay. So until you tolerate for it. So this is the Corden, uncordon, tent, toleration.
Yeah, so I would like to see an example of toleration in the pod spec. Like, how does it look like, and what exactly we specify under tolerations in pod.spec?
Yeah. So
Do you have
demo,
any? Yeah.
Demo I'll just give you in 5 minutes. I'm just explaining you the concept. Okay.
But in real world, Raj, why we will need that? So I understand that. Okay, this is a little bit relaxed way. In a YAML file pod.spec, some toleration value will be set, so you'll be able to go and provision on that node which is tainted. But in real world, why you will do that? What is the real world need?
Uh, Real world need, that means situation for each and everything, situation is different. Cordon means simple. You don't want this node, you want to make it uh, not allowing any other pod to be entertained, not any other pod. You don't want any other pod to be here. So that way you make this node Corden. But sometime what happens in case of tent, let's say there is a one box which is reserved for some special pod, not for, see, understand the behavior of scheduler. Scheduler considered any node which is available as a way to schedule that work to him. So what you want basically, you don't want scheduler to assign any random pod to me. For example, some special pod is there which hold only in your particular node. Maybe that node has specific architecture, specific RAM, specific CPU, specific operating system, something like that. Okay, so you don't want any random pod to be created, but there is some special pod which you want to create. But so what you have to do, so tent will not allow to create a pod, but at the same time if you want to create some specific pod, add the toleration in the of that particular node, and that will be created. So now once you get into the production, then they will put some condition, okay, this do run this do run this pod in, developers will put condition, we can create a pod only in this or only in that, but my node should not be used for any other work. For example, database, you should not be having the user pod, web pod, like that. So those conditions will come, and that is how you can entertain them. Getting your points?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the tent. Now what is a drain is, so drain, as its name suggest basically whatever the pod it's running in that particular node, it will drain it. Okay, it will drain it. So let's do one demo, and then after that I'll talk about this one: node selector, node affinity, and pod affinity. Okay, so conceptually, did you understand this stuff?
Rajesh, regarding the drain, actually, does it also mark it as unschedulable after
Yes,
removing all the
yes,
pods?
yes. Yeah, it will be offline for the not schedulable, and it will not be schedulable. And then also uh, drain, why we use it, you want to upgrade the nodes, some maintenance work or something like a CPU enhancement, RAM enhancement, some patching work, reboot work, all these things. If you want to do that, you should drain and then do that.
So Rajesh, if I say I have 4 nodes, and because of cost cutting, someone says out of 4, our usage is not that high, reduce it to 3. Does that mean I have to do cordon followed by the drain, and when the count is 0, I can switch off that node?
Yeah, even though drain, if you do that, it will become unsuitable. No?
No, but I want nothing to be running on that node. So cordon will
I
stop.
mean,
Nothing new will come.
yeah,
But whatever is
and
running, I want those things to be automatically moved to another node.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do it. Okay, guys. So let's have some demo sort of it. So what I want, how many nodes I'm having? Only 2. So get nodes. I have this master nodes and this is the worker nodes. Okay. So first of all, let me talk about tent in a detail. So tent and tolerations. This article I was writing it, but I could not complete. So I will post program. I will put it up.
Rajesh, we have seen like for Cordon there is Uncoded, right? Similarly for tent, don't have any corresponding revert action, right? If I want to make it if I want to revert it, like we have Cordon, Uncoded, right?
We have. I'll tell you.
For tent, yeah.
I'll tell you. Okay, so let's do that. So first I am going to work with the tent. Now see here, first understand this. Just a second. Okay, so node kubectl describe node, this one. Okay. So understand that these labels are very important. I did not give the label. I did not give this label. It came by default. Okay. So none of this label I gave him. Now you should see when you look at the tent. Just a second. I will also give you the commands so you'll not get lost. So here, and after that I did here. Then you should check that to field. Which field? Tense and unschedulable. So here there's a tent which says no schedule. So when you say no schedule, that means no schedule, simple. Unschedulable, this is false. Okay, so understand this is the tent right now. Unschedulable means false. So this is unschedulable, that is if it is true, then it will not be able to schedule. But unschedulable false, that means there are some nodes, there are some port which can be scheduled. Even though no schedule, think about it, I said tent not scheduled, but still just now matrix server I installed, no, just now here matrix server pod, so still able to schedule because of unschedulable false. Okay, now let's check it out one more. See that this is a, understand that is more or less is a conceptual actually, because commands are damn simple. So here you look at this, if you describe this node, this is a worker node. Okay, worker node, I did not change anything, it's same as it is, and this is the master node. So now you see tents, nothing is there, that means anyone can schedule any pod, or unschedulable false means yes you can schedule, no problem. Now here tent, so here because of this no schedule, that user was not able to schedule the pod here default. And remember, none of the time I said toleration in my pod, means no pod.spec dot toleration. None of the time I said you can tolerate this particular node. This is the node. Okay. So now this is the current situation. Now what I will do, I will make this one thing. What I was doing basically, Corden. Okay. So Corden, let's do the Corden. So kubectl Corden -h and node name. I'm doing this worker node. Understand this. This is the worker node. kubectl Corden worker node. Okay. And you see cordoned. Okay. Can I run this? This is the worker. And go up. See here. Look at this. See the difference. I'm giving in the notes all the commands, so you should experience that. So here you see, look at this Corden and describe. Okay. Now if you see that, if I do the Corden, there is a no schedule. That means no schedule means it was earlier it was in master. Okay, master. This is the master, but now it's a no schedule, and unschedulable it's become a true. So can I create one pod now? So vi pod, name it Corden demo, Corden -demo. Here kubectl create -f pod.yaml and created get pods. See here, see pending. Why pending? Because master it cannot create, and same time the node which I had one, that I disabled it, Corden I did this, and it's become unschedulable. Now there is a two options to make this happen. Option one, first you uncorden, or this pod you added toleration. Are you getting one? Sorry, even though if you add a toleration, it will not happen because tent is not enabled right now. Yeah. So did you understand this?
Yeah.
So this is a Corden. Now what I should do, you should understand what is this option, no schedule, how many options we have for this. So there's one article which is here, I written last year only. This will help you. So you check it out. Where is that? So three options you can give it here. No schedule, three options. Okay. No schedule, prefer no schedule, or no execute. And all this thing has a different option. By the way, it's a 10th option. Okay. This is the 10th options here. Node 10s. So no schedule means pods that do not tolerate. Here I am saying tolerate. This 10th are not scheduled on this pod. That means those who tolerate can be scheduled in this pod. Understand this. Okay. Prefer no schedule. And one more thing, it should be false here in this case. Should be false. Prefer no schedule. So Kubernetes avoids scheduling pod that do not tolerate this tent onto this. So when you say prefer, that means it may schedule, but first they will check, scheduler will check, do we have any other options? If there is no option, then only it will be used. And here, no execute. This means pod is evicted from this node if it is already running on the node, and not scheduled onto the node if it is not at all running on the node. Okay, so please understand that tent here you have a multiple options. Okay, multiple options. Okay, here no scheduled, prefer no schedule, no execute. So pod is evicted from the node if it is already running on the node, and it is not scheduled onto the node if it is not at all running on the node. Okay, so this is the three options which we have to this tent. Are you getting my points?
Yeah, Rajesh, third option is a bit unclear.
Here it will evicted. So some pods are there already running on that. It will be evicted from that pod. It will be sent to someone else, and it's not scheduled onto the pod if this is not at all running on the node. Okay.
But if I put no execute and I have toleration in my pod, what if in that case?
No execute is a different. It says pod is evicted from the node if it is already running on the, understand this. And here, and it's not scheduled onto the node if it is not at all running on the node. So simple. If it will first evict and make it no schedule, that means it will make it no scheduled, and evict also if you put it execute.
All right, yeah, correct.
Yeah, so this is the one. Now the question is, can I make, see right now master, can you make master as a schedulable? No schedule, can you make it unscheduled? Or you can change this one, so uncoded you can do that. So let's do that. Let's not work with the master, let it be living, because I don't want to spoil the master right now. So work with the worker only. So get nodes, and here see ready but not unscheduled. So can I do uncoded? So now let's do the uncoded. Where is that command? Here. So now I'm doing the uncoded. So now it says uncoded. Now can I run the command describe? Okay, and go to that 1010 unscheduled. See here, 10 got none, unscheduled will call false. So this is the way you can work with last stage. Okay, so let me share all the comments. So here I get notes and uncoded and describe. Okay, now I did Corden and uncoded. Now I'll do the tent. Okay, so how to do the tents? So let's do the tent. So first time being, see that Corden demo. See the Corden demo. You should check it out. Okay. The moment that it got available, scheduler said, okay, go ahead and do that. Now I will put the tent and toleration. Okay. So first thing what I will do, I will enable the tent for the one node. So let's do that. So first I'm going to enable the tent. So So see here, I am adding the tent nodes and key value no scheduled. Okay, here key value whatever you want to give it, it's up to you. Okay, so key value server, web server. Okay, before that let's get the node. Now I will work with the workstation only. Describe nodes. Now key value, you check it out here. These are the key values. Okay, these are the key values. There's a one more tutorials I've written. This one. So here tent dedicated schedule. You can try this one also. Let me find out the EG command.
If you liked our Kubernetes session so far, please enroll for our channel membership $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
So you can so let's add a new key value. Let's try. So here what I'm doing, kubectl tent node 1 and server web no scheduled. Okay, this is for no scheduled. Can I run this command? Before that, describe this.
So my key value pair should be something existing pair, right, Rajesh? That is something existing.
It will also create. So I'm just having same doubt. That's the reason I got that. So let me try. So here before running this command, it was this. Now after running this command, I'm having same doubt. I'm not able to recollect. So yeah. Now no schedule with this key and value. So this is set no schedule. Now here I want to this time create a pod Cordon tent demo. Tent hyphen demo kubectl create hyphen f pod.yaml and get pods and see here, tentative pending. See, why is pending? If you go and describe the
Yeah, we don't have toleration yet, so
describe pod, see that, read that. Okay, so this is the way you can tolerate. So now I did something else. So how to remove that? That is a question, right? So how to remove that? So
no, I mean, Rajesh, before that, we would like to see how we can add the toleration in the pod.
so that I will come back in some time, because
Sure.
where is the notes I'm writing for all of you? Here, remember, with the pod specification here. Okay, just give me some time. Let me complete. Now, how can I remove that? So what I'm going to do is same command. Here, no schedule is there, no? I will say hyphen, that's all. Understand that. Just remember this hyphen. Okay, understand that? Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So just you add a hyphen and see untented, correct now? Can I check now? See here. See here. Understand? Earlier it was no schedule, none, false. Now kubectl get spots. Now see tented demo is running. So this is the way you can check it out. Stuff. Guys, did you understand this?
Yeah.
Now what I will do, I will teach you toleration. So what I will do, vi pod.yaml, I have to write a new file, toleration. So for toleration, I have a code already somewhere. See here. This is the code. Now it's the same image, nginx. You see added toleration. Earlier I was not having toleration. Vi pod.yaml. See, there's no toleration right now. So it's like this. So here toleration. Now what is a key? An operator and value. So key, which is here server, equal to value. So key is equal to server equal to web, and effect is set with the no scheduled. No scheduled. That means anything. That means any pod, this pod will be created if only and if that node has this property, whereas my node has that property. I tented one more time. Oh, I did not tent it. I have to tent it. Just a second. Let me tent it quickly. One more time I'm tenting. Okay. So here I'm tending one more time, and let me show you. And describe, go to here, see, correct, nice tented, right? Server web, server web. So can I do this? Vi pod1.yaml, kubectl, create pod1.yaml -f get pods, and this is nginx. Now you see this is running. So guys, did you understand the toleration? Now if I remove the toleration, let's see what happens. Vi pod1, copy this file pod1.yaml to pod2.yaml. Vi pod2.yaml. Here I'll remove this toleration. Or I'll modify the no. I'll modify the toleration equal to web1. Okay, that means it will tolerate only that stuff. So let's check it out. And I have to change this one also, right? nginx1. So kubectl create -f pod2.yaml kubectl get pods. See here, correct now? Did you understand this?
Rajesh, what if we are removing the toleration of a running pod?
What is that?
If we are removing the toleration of a currently running pod, can we
Okay,
do that?
so remember that rule what we have, as long as it's in pending, okay, that means it's not assigned to any node, so you can change that status. The moment, let me change that status, you can change the status, but if it is getting created and then you change the pod spec, remember, then pod spec will it will replace the pod. Remember, the pod is atomic actually, that is inferal. So right now it's not created, just as just initialized. I mean, that's things. Now you see here, I change this. Or didn't I did not apply actually. We have to replace actually. Just a second. See, so existing toleration cannot be modified except, so you have to recreate the pod in this case. So you have to delete and then recreate. Got it? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Rajesh, can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay, guys.
So you mean for a running pod, we cannot we cannot basically put tolerations to a running pod.
No, you cannot pod. Remember, pod is inferal, anatomic. Once the pod is created, cannot recreate. It has to be replaced. That's the properties of it. But containers image you can, but containers image you can change inside the pod. So that way, remember pod containers, I did talked about it. Even though you change the containers image, containers, pod will not be replaced. Containers will be replaced. Why? Because pod containers hold that pod's IP address and everything. So that that's the anatomy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, guys. Now, so we discussed about what is certificate, top, Corden, Uncoded, and tent. Now, drain basically is a very simple command. I don't have a too many node actually. So drain means if you have a multiple node in a cluster, just you can drain that. Uh, you can drain that node. So see here, simple command, kubectl drain. Which drain? So node name, foo is a node name, and force. So you can drain that. Some of the additional options are available. So this will migrate the pod from one node to another node. That is what exactly it will have. Okay, so you can do that gracefully, and you can do the forcefully also. So it's up to you. It's just the one command will work if you have multi-node cluster. Now here, node selector, node affinity, and pod affinity. What is this? So that is that we work with the node, but now we will work with the pod specification with pod dot spec. Now if you want to select, let's say you want to create a pod, so let's node selector, okay, here the complete URL. Now what is a node selector? So node selector, understand that pod will select node. Okay, understand that pod would select a node, but based on what? Based on node key and value. That is important, understand that. Node, I showed you, node has a certain labels right now. And you can attach the label also as many times you want it. So this is the default label, means Kubernetes gives this default labels when you bootstrap that, but you can add a more nodes also, a more pod also. How to add a nodes? How to add a label? So Kubernetes kubectl label node and node name and key values like this. So here pod will select one node based on the node key and value. So let me show you directly example. You can read it little bit later. See here, this is the one simple example and very good and very cool. See here is saying create this pod. I don't think so you'll find difficulties understanding it. Create a pod, but only to the node where this key and value is there. This is called node selector, where the disk type SSD should be somewhere in the label format here. Are you getting my points? Are you getting my points?
Yeah, Rajesh.
So that is a node selector. Remember, you do in the pod. Now what is a node affinity? Node affinity is a something similar to pod selector, but what is happening? Node affinity, pod will select node, but based on the expression. The question is, what is expression? Sometimes it's not very much straightforward, just like this. Some multiple conditions you have to add it, and or like kind of things. This is the only simple statement. So when you need some complex stuff, then you use the node affinity. I'll show you an example for it. Node affinity. Node affinity. This is the one. Look at this. Little bit complex. Very simple though. See here. Creating a pod only. Okay. Container from image from HTTPD. But what we are saying, see here. You're putting in the annotations itself, node affinity. Select the node. Okay. Select the node. Preferred during scheduling, ignored during execution. Node labels should be key y-web in value if it is yes or true. So here it can be in of this key or true, then only select that label. It's an expression. Okay, so last time it was a simple way, but it is it's a simple program. It can be longer also. So it can be expression, match expression, then select that label, a node, and then create it. One more example, so I'll show you. Look at this one. Here two condition. No, that's a node pod affinity. Let's affinity. See here. So affinity you can add it, not in annotation, but also in the, see here. There's another way to write. Create a pod.spec, affinity, node affinity. Now you see expression key should be this one and value should be one of these. Here value, this one is in this. So by default is and, but if you want the or, you can add it or also here. Now the question is, what is the required during scheduling, ignore during execution, prefer during? So this is a soft rule. Sorry, this is a hard rule. This is a soft rule. Required, preferred. So this is the way to use the node affinity also. Now one thing is pod affinity. Before that, node selector, I'll show you an image for this. See here. See here. Look at this. See this image. Here you say node selector. Remember node selector. App logging -node, out of which these nodes it may get created. Here node 1 app : is equal to none, will not get created. So that's a node selector. Now let me show you here. See here. Scheduler will, there's one node with the VIP false. There's another node with a VIP true. So here, if the pod node selector VIP true, then it will create here. Match it. Now let me show you one image for the node selector. A node affinity, sorry. Node affinity. See here. Look at it very carefully. Node affinity, if the key, my key matches with the label and label 2, then it's creating not level 3. Look at it very carefully. So expression. here. Look at this, is matches here and here. Okay, so this is the node affinity. Now the question is, last question is, what is a pod affinity? Pod affinity. So pod affinity is basically not, understand that, node selector and node affinity chooses the node, okay, based on the certain condition. Pod affinity, so this pod would create, understand that, very simple, this pod would create in a node, okay, in a node which has label, which has a pod labeled matching with the pod. Yeah, understand that. Here not when you set the pod affinity, that means one pod will create in the node when the matching pod is there in that particular node. Are you able to understand this, what I'm trying to say? Are you getting my points?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah, so this is called pod affinity.
Yeah, so
Okay.
basically it will look for the node whether that node has a pod having that sort of label. So
Yes,
it will attract
yes,
the similar kind of pod, right?
correct, yes. So that's this message for the scheduler. Okay, now let me show you one pod affinity. Okay, so here you look at this example of pod affinity. So creating pod, okay, here pod affinity and seeing label selector match expression. If the key is security and S1, understand that. If key is security, if the pod label selector of the pod, see pod affinity, pod affinity. So if any pod which has a label security and S1, security key and value S1, or this is for the required. If it is not matching, then you can try this one also, S2, then create that particular pod in that node. So see here, this is the pod affinity. See here, look at it very carefully. Pod affinity saying security in S1. So here, see the pod is labeled, not a node. Pod is labeled with the security S1. So that way it will create this one. So it has created here. Look at this here. Understood this?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, guys.
Rajesh,
So
why it went to node 2? So my node 1 has security S1, right? So the new pod should have got launched in node 1 only, right? Why it went to node 2?
pod 3, just a second. Okay, this image probably is wrong. Okay, just a second. This image is wrong. Yeah, I did not notice actually while uploading.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, this image is wrong. Okay, and wrong means maybe some different explanation. By mistake I might have uploaded different image and different places. So I'll just correct it. Just a second, hold on, let me confirm this. So interpod community antipod. Okay, okay, this is a right image, but actually this is anti-affinity. Okay, actually I did not okay, I'll show you this. See here, it's not a pod affinity, it's anti-affinity.
It's reverse. Okay, got it.
See, so that means this time it will create not in a node but someone else node which is anti-affinity. Did you understand this? So that's explanation was given here, but by mistake I open up a wrong one. Okay.
Yeah, again, Rajesh, in case of anti-affinity, if anti-affinity nodes are more than one, what happens in that case?
So
Like
scheduler has a rule. Remember, first the nature is default. Second, they will read this these all section, and based on that scheduler decide where to place it. Node selector, node affinity, pod affinity, tolerations based on this.
okay.
Okay, so now I'll share with you few URL in the nodes itself, and at the end of it, which has all the examples whichever I used during this training. And yeah, so these are the things. This is a tent and toleration, node selector, node affinity, and pod affinity is also here partially. Okay, guys, any questions?
Rajesh, are we also covering the multiple schedulers concept?
Thanks for watching. If you liked our Kubernetes session so far, please enroll for our channel membership 399 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devops.school.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.